Alrighty, in this video I am going to show you how to edit the footer. So the last video we edited the header, so just to do a quick recap and let you guys know, I'll quickly show you on this one. So you've got your header up here, which is controlled by the theme Astra, and down the bottom you have your footer, which can be controlled by Astra, but I like to use Beaver Builder to actually build out that footer. The reason I use Beaver Builder is because you can add all these additional elements much easier, and then you have a lot more control over it. So I'll just show you where you can turn your footer on and off using the actual theme. And you would be using widgets if you decided to go this route, but I highly recommend you go the route I'm going to show you and use the Beaver Builder, and then I'll show you how we can link that in. So again, if you just went down to layout, it would be under footer, and then you can turn on the footer widget. At the moment, it's it is disabled now, but if you turn that on, it would give you 4 blank rows, and then you can go and add widgets. Now the very bottom, we have a footer bar, which is that's disabled. I wonder why it's not showing up. I will show you in the other theme why that it might not be turned on in the back end. But like I mentioned, I'm going to show you how to go and use Beaver Builder to make these footers. So I'm going to jump back over to this theme. If you're not in this demo, again, it's going to be exactly the same. You're going to find the footer in the same place. Let me just jump in here really quick and just show you the footer. If anyone is using that other theme and you find that issue with turning on the bottom footer, just let me know. So this section here, up to where this donate button, basically up until this white line, that is the footer section. Okay, so all these elements are built with Beaver Builder and customized with Beaver Builder. Now this bottom bar here, it's under layout, and it's under footer, and it's called the footer bar. Okay, so this is a bar where it's not part of the custom build in Beaver Builder, and it's typically used for your copywriting, and you can typically, if there was a web designer that built your website out, they might put a link down here. So where it says powered by Clean. Now the reason it says Clean is because that's the name of the theme. If you went and changed the name of like the site title, if you changed it to Hope, which would be the name of this website, it would say powered by Hope. So you can if you wanted to, you could put a fun little message there. So that would be under section 2. You can put whatever you like there. If you did want to put a link that linked to a different website, I'm going to put the code in the underneath this video, and it would be, I'll put it up on the screen as well. So it'll be this code here. So if you wanted to copy and paste that into section 2, I'll just do that just to show you an example. Oops, that's the wrong one. So you can copy and paste that code in, and where it says link text, which is where it says link text over here on the left, where I copied and pasted that in, all you would need to do is, if you wanted to change that, say I was going to use it for my powered by Digital Mission Life, I would change the word link text to Digital Mission Life, and then I would just change the URL to where I wanted that pointed. And then when people click on that, they would go to whatever page you link them to. So that's another little way you can use that. You can also use, particularly if you're doing Facebook advertising or any kind of paid advertising, you could put your privacy copy here, privacy policy, and other things down in this bottom footer. Now, if you didn't want that, you just come into customizing, layout, footer, and then footer bar, and you can turn that on and off. Okay, I'm just going to leave it on. And now I'm going to dive into showing you actually how to customize all these elements in here. Now, the footers, like I mentioned, if you really want to, you can actually build your header in the same way we're going to build the footer. I've never had too much success just because it's such a small space. Once you start adding extra things in, it never really works as well as it should. So that's why I typically leave it up to Astra, the theme, because it does a lot better job at particularly when we are going over to mobile, and with its responsiveness, it just behaves a lot better if I use the actual Astra theme customizer. But in the footer, because you have a bit more space, it seems to just work out much better. So, okay, so to edit this, what you need to do is, this will be found up in dashboard, and then you're going to come down to the left-hand side, and it's going to be under custom layouts. Okay, now the reason we build it under custom layouts is because that then gives us the ability to assign it to a certain place on the website. So whether that's assigning it to the header or down in the footer where we want it, or there's some other elements if we wanted to design a certain page or a certain section, and said we want this to appear on every single blog post only, we can kind of do that with these custom layouts. So that's where you're going to find your footer if you're using one of these demos, which is pre-built. And if it's not, this is where you would start building it. So I just come to footer, come to page builder, have this open up, and now we are just using Beaver Builder to customize all this. So at the beginning over here, we'll just open this up. This looks like an info box. So in the info box, you can go ahead and just start changing your text. You have a photo, so that hope is actually a photo. So you can go ahead and change your photo. Stick with the same size that it's recommending there if you want. And you can actually control the size from here as well. I won't get too much into the customizing each element, because there's going to be sections in the course that's going to break down every single element. So the info box, I'll go through and show you everything. But for the main things, if you just wanted to go in here, change the photo, change the text, jump over to the typography, change, the color, which is that heading under there. So if you wanted to just change that, it changes that there. I'm just going to leave it like, no, I'll just put it back. Okay. So that's kind of that. That button is actually not part of this info box. So that button underneath, I'm not sure why that button is there, unless it is, you could link that to like a learn more. That could have just been a button that I was messing around with when fixing up this template. So I'm just going to delete that. So now we have quick links. So this element is actually part of a widget. So that's part of one of those site origin sliders. So a lot of people put an Instagram feed down here. I think it's a great idea to have something that's constantly changing. Depending on your Instagram account, you may not want to use Instagram because of, depending on what you're adding. If you're adding just random photos throughout the day, you kind of want to have your best content rotating through here. So that's why I use this widget box, which just allows me to control the content a little bit better, and then you can link this content off. Now at the moment, it doesn't look like these are linked anywhere, so you can just put in No, sorry. Oh, okay. So yeah, the destination would be underneath here. So you could link these off. So if you had different projects that you wanted to highlight, you could have them in there. So you could have just photos, or you could jump into Canva and kind of design something with some more text about, linking off to certain things. Or let me just kind of show you what I mean. So if you wanted to, you could jump over into Canva and make boxes like this, or you could make these boxes like this with the actual title underneath, make them square over in Canva, and then bring them in there. And then once they're in there, you would just so there's under slider frame. So it's basically a little slider. You put your image there, and then background color, which you probably won't even see. And then the destination, whether you want that to open up in a new window or not. And then underneath you just have some controls. So you have the navigation controls, which you can't see very well, but if we change the color of them. Okay, let's go thick. Are they on the side there? Okay, yeah, so you can see them there. Okay, let's go red so you can actually see them. Okay, so you can see them there. I probably wouldn't bother about putting navigation. I would just have, one or two scrolling back and forth. But if you did want to do that, that's how you would go and do that. Add a little, gallery, moving gallery. Next, underneath you have a menu. Like I mentioned, you may want to make a custom menu for your footer. So at the moment it's linked to the primary menu. I think that's the only menu we have in this theme at the moment. But if you went over and made a new menu and put that in, because you might not want to put all of these in there at all. So that's definitely an option. Contact us, so you can have your contact information here in the bottom, and then you have your social media links. Depending on how you want to design it. This is like we have our social media links, which are quite small here, but on the other themes, they're a lot more dominant. So you got these themes, these buttons here, social media icons, and then on this theme we actually have them too. These are actually share icons. So if you hit them, it's going to open up Facebook to share that link. Now, you can also, then these links would be the ones linking off to your social media pages. So again, it just depends on your preference on, how much you want to promote your social media. So that's that. So if we click on, contacts, this is how we can edit this. This is just an info list with icons on the sides. So we would open up each one. You have your phone number here and then the icon. So this theme has a bunch of icons preloaded. So we can do that. But I'm going to show you how we can go and make custom icons and bring them in if you wanted to. But I would suggest for your footer, just picking these standard icons. And then you control the color with that at the bottom there. Again, I'm going to go through all these elements and kind of give you a better overview of each one. There is one more piece of code that I'm going to share with you guys. So for this phone number here, this phone number is just the number. But if you wanted to make this so it called a number when someone clicked on it, you can use this piece of code here, which you'll find under this video and in the shared code section in the membership site. So you could just copy and paste that in there, and then that's going to be yellow because it is a clickable link. Okay, so that's when we set those base colors. That's why it's gone yellow. Now we may be able to change that typography to Oops, that's those ones. All right. It doesn't look like it's giving us an easy option to do, but again, if we wanted to, we could change that with just another little piece of code in there. But it's nice to have it separated by having a different color, because it means it is something that people can click on and it will dial their number. Will dial that number. So depending on whether you are on a mobile or a desktop, so that would try and open it and use FaceTime. But if you're on a mobile, that would just go ahead and call. So back to editing. Oops. So back to page builder. Okay, the next section is subscribing to our newsletter. This is, they haven't used, okay, so this is a subscription form, and then they've just put a header and piece of text up below that header. You can do that all in the subscription form where it has heading and subheading. I guess it's just preference, a little bit more control doing it this way, I guess. So if you are using MailChimp or any of the other ones, you can some of the other autoresponders, you can very easily integrate that into the back end of MailChimp or whatever autoresponder you're using. So someone would just put their email in, subscribe, and then you can set that up. Again, I'm going to do a tutorial on setting up MailChimp, probably just MailChimp. I think majority of the people going through this are going to be using MailChimp. Very easy to set up all the other ones. All you need is the account name and then the API key, and hit connect, and then it'll give you a drop-down menu of what list you want to put them on. Again, you can go back, and this is where you can change all the colors and fun stuff like that. So that's kind of it. The majority of footers usually have 4 columns. This could be much more simple. As you can see, some of these are some of the other ones. This is 4 columns again. Contact us. It's just going to take us to the contact form. Let me just get out of this edit mode. So that contact button just takes them to. Oh, maybe I have to look at that. That'll take you to the contact form. Again, email subscription, and then going through and changing the icons for the social media, and then you just have a small menu here. So it really depends on the kind of look and feel you're going for with your website. So if you have any questions, let me know, but I hope that's helpful. Again, you can go ahead and really kind of find a footer that you like from another website if you wanted to, and then you can very easily manipulate it to look very similar using Beaver Builder. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.